And welcome to Southview. My name is William Chandler. To my right,
Terrence Hollis.
And to my left,
Leslie Huffmaster.
And as usual in the control room, we got Kyle, Amy, and Desmond. So, guys, you know what we're talking about today? Social media. God, do I hate you, social media. You're wonderful and the crux of society. Let's find the happy medium. So what are we talking about with social media today, guys?
The positives. Let's start off
Only the positives? I mean, we have to talk about both sides of the
I want to
issues.
start off with the positives.
All right.
Okay.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
I like the fact that I was able to rekindle with a lot of my family members by using social media. And also, I went to school in Indiana, like high school. So, in living down here from Alabama, I was disconnected from everybody I went to like high school with. So I was able to also
away from home, long
long way.
Home.
Well, this is actually my home. I was born in Mobile, but I grew up in Indiana. So I'm back home now. But yeah, so I like social media for that aspect. That's definitely a positive. Also for networking and promoting oneself.
All right, now I'm done with all the positive stuff. I'm having a bad day, guys. Let's get on with the negative stuff, such as political. Let's go with politics.
Okay.
How are you feeling about politics today?
There are very positive political movements that are being made online, on Twitter, and sometimes on Facebook. And also, you have to think about this too. What about the shootings and whatnot? I do think that those are horrible, but think about how some of those kids in Parkland were able to warn each other about where the shooter possibly was thanks to social media. So that's another positive vibe.
Yeah, but there's also a negative is the misuse of information.
Yes.
That's the big.
She got it. There we go. Hey, that's what we're talking about. The misuse of information, the false news, the fake news, all that good stuff.
It's ridiculous. But if you give certain people a platform to like voice their opinion, I mean, I guess that's okay. Opinions are different from the misuse of information. Yeah. Like people literally put false information out there, things that never happened.
There's no fact checking. There's nothing. You can just put it out there for the entire world to see.
Like, oh.
It's going to get shared 100,000 times, and by the time we realize,
wouldn't it have a lot to do with people having common sense that actually go?
Okay, so let's do. Okay, I'll play with your common sense thing. Mm-hmm. The kid that was who's apparently a what was a catastrophe actor?
Crisis actor.
Crisis actor. Can I tell you how many times I've seen that shared in the last 2 weeks? Too many to count. People don't have any common sense.
Crisis actor?
Remember after the shooting?
I think his name is David Hoggs, or is it?
Davis Hoggs, yeah.
Davis or David?
David Hoggs, and after one of the shootings that just happened, he was making public statements. He's the former son of an FBI agent. Yeah. I thought it was director, but agent. And it's been making a big hoorah.
It's a big hoax.
Yeah, and all the conservatives, I mean, not all, my mistake. Most of us conservatives are saying, oh, this kid's a child actor, and he's just blowing the situation, and X, Y, and Z. And the only reason why this has gotten propelled so large, none of the major news networks are covering it at all. The only reason why it's being covered is because people are sharing it on social media. Mm-hmm. People are starting to believe it. People like my naive grandmother.
And it's like a firestorm at this point. It's just spreading and spreading and spreading. It makes it worse. It makes it worse when the son of the president, Donald Trump Jr., liked one of the posts about that, and it's like
that's another part. Politicians having social media. I can't think of a single politician right now that's tweeting out probably something as we speak to ag on a certain North Korean leader or something.
There is that one bad thing about him, because he can start World War III.
By his Twitter account.
Yes.
Politicians.
But I do like how I don't know. I like how maybe the politicians are able. It seems like they're connected more on our level through social media. Like they're speaking
when you're
directly
constantly threatening other countries and
I'm not saying that everything they put out there is
he's
right.
the most important.
I'm just saying,
he's technically the most important politician in this country.
In the country,
he should be a little more.
Conservative?
Restrained.
Restrained.
I'm not going to say conservative. I'm going to say restrained.
I like
restrained. Yeah.
I think we all
Secretary of State needs to say, like, hey, Mr. President, you've had your 10 minutes of phone time. Now let's do the briefing of the day.
we gotta put some constraints and some limits on him because he can get a little bit out of control.
You're not.
Yeah.
And then also all of the cyberbullying that's going on too, and trolling. Everyone likes to call it trolls. People trolling on.
That's exactly what it is. It's trolling.
The trolling. I can say so much about the trolling because that.
Are you a troll?
No.
Do you get trolled upon?
Or do you get trolled upon? Yeah,
Yes.
there you go.
Yes. You know, being somebody who is very vocal about their opinion, and especially someone who has a liberal opinion, you're going to get trolled. Quite often.
There was a web series I was a part of, an animated web series, and one day I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to scroll through the comments, see what people think. Oh, I appreciate that compliment. Wait, what? What? You're just starting something to piss people off.
Yes.
That's exactly what you're doing. And it's like people are responding, the trolling.
They love it. It's just I think it's like the drama that circles around it.
I appreciate that we have 1 good minute of positive things to say about social media.
You only let us have 1
Well, I mean, and then we had 8 good minutes of
negative
stuff. I mean, it's so much easier to find the negatives. You know what? For Lent, you know what I did?
What'd you do?
I gave up social media.
You did?
Well, I obviously have to have Facebook Messenger for our communication. Obviously, I have to have GroupMe to communicate with my fraternity. And obviously, you have to keep up with the chat
Current
functions.
events, you know,
Yes.
current events are all on Facebook.
I'm that part I'm not doing on Facebook, but I have to say it's been so wonderful.
Liberating.
Not worrying it. Liberating.
Liberating.
Exactly the word to
When
use.
we
I hit
go-
the desk, darn it. But that's exactly the word to use.
When my husband and I go like on vacations or spend a weekend together and stuff, I will purposely lose my cell phone so that I am undisturbed.
No,
by
sorry, I'm not going to
everybody.
give up my cell phone.
I will though for a weekend maybe.
How do you guys
And it's
do
liberating.
that? I can't really go too long without checking my Twitter or my Snapchat.
I love it though.
I really can't.
It's,
I really
it's
can't.
too much.
We're going to take a little break, guys. Fantastic conversation, you two. Anyways, we'll be...
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
And welcome back to Southview. My name is William Chandler, and I'm joined with...
Terrence Hollis.
And?
Leslie Huffmaster.
And you know what, guys? Let's keep the political ball rolling.
Why
feel me?
not?
Yeah.
Why not?
So celebrities and politics, which is kind of an oxymoron now that Trump's president. I mean, a celebrity who became
Who
a
isn't
politician.
a politician.
Who's the most powerful
But he was
politician.
in the first one. Ronald Reagan
Yeah,
was
I didn't even
also
think about
a celebrity who became a politician.
So-
and I think that there have actually been others too.
Well, yeah. But
And-
Hasselhoff.
And the celebrity, now president, also brought in other celebrities that may not have worked out, like Omarosa, into the White House to work.
Well, let's
for
veer away from that
example,
for a little bit, and let's go into actual celebrities talking about politics. So one of the greatest one, what's her name? Not Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. There's so
Lawrence.
many Jennifers. She has been very vocal about the hate Trump movement. Every time I was just watching the Colbert Report where she was advertising her new spy movie, and she was bashing the president then. I mean, don't get me
they
wrong.
look for every opportunity they can.
Yes.
to-
And should we listen to them, or should they be allowed to make their statement?
The same thing was the same kind of conversations were started and made about President Barack Obama and Bush and Clinton.
Trump was
and
one of the
If
greatest.
you're in this spotlight position, people are going to talk about you.
Right.
And they're going to listen.
It's just the fact that Trump is more polarizing one way or another.
Because
and
of his
it's-
Twitter account.
not only that, but because
his influence in general.
He's mostly well known, other than for his his real estate companies, his
his Trump stanks, his Trump
celebrity.
waters, his Trump wines. Yeah.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
And his
Trump water.
apprentice.
Trump water.
Okay.
Go off
But
topic
being a
again.
celebrity,
Yeah.
on what was it called?
Well, look, they
What was
on
the
the
show?
apprenticeship,
Apprentice,
the apprentice, not the apprenticeship, but the apprentice. Everybody that is a citizen of this country and not a citizen of this country has a right to voice their opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
That
I
is
mean,
very-
we
Whether
do it
they're a
every day on the
celebrity
show.
or
That
not.
is true.
Now, however,
Huh?
I think that celebrities can take their celebritydom and use it. Some in good ways, some in bad ways.
My opinion, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't,
Well-
just because, let me think of the most radical case. Kim Kardashian says to support Trump or not to support Trump on any piece of legislation. Who the heck's going to listen to Kim Kardashian? Who's going to listen to...
Her following,
Exactly. And if you don't have the common sense to not listen to these people...
they follow Kim Kardashian. They
Well,
don't
the
have
same
much
thing can be
common
said
sense.
for athletes too, who technically are
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, I didn't
Oh,
think about
those
that.
are considered celebrities.
In the
yeah.
case of LeBron James, I can't remember the reporter's name. I just know she was on Fox, and she said for him and other athletes to shut up and dribble. Mr. James decided to just fire back on her at her on Twitter, and said, "I will not shut up and dribble." He
How
along with
fantastic social
other
media.
he along with other numerous athletes do have numerous organizations and foundations where they give back to colleges and communities or whatnot. LeBron James himself have given away millions of dollars just for college foundations, just to get kids to go to school. So for him to shut up and dribble, I don't think it's really solving too much when he's actually helping
they try to
people.
like take out the humanity out of celebrities. Like, you're not allowed to be human anymore. You're a celebrity.
It's more or less when your opinion doesn't, I guess, align with whoever's in power. So in a sense of since there's more conservatives in power right now, if you have a liberal opinion, shut up. If you have, if liberals are in power and there's
They
conservative
tell the
opinion,
conservatives to shut
shut
up.
up.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Pretty much.
I think the crux of the problem is we put these people on such high pedestals. They can't
Right.
do any wrong. Well, I mean,
And some can't do anything
certainly
right,
they
either.
can do a lot of wrong. Certainly a lot of them can't do anything right. But does that mean that we should listen to them or take anything they say with any level of
As it's
sincerity or
as though it's
seriousness?
the law. you know?
Exactly.
I mean, everybody has their own opinions.
Yes.
Opinions are like buttholes.
If you're
some of
not-
them stink,
oh,
some of them
come
don't. I didn't say any
love it.
word. I didn't say any bad
no,
words.
No.
I
Yeah,
love
everyone has one. I love that.
Yeah, so
Very good
they're,
job.
they all stink sometimes. So
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I mean, if you don't have the common sense enough to develop your own opinion, before I make any opinion on anything, I listen to Fox News, I listen to CNN, I listen to politicians on both sides of the aisle, independents, liberals, conservatives, to make sure I've got my own view well sculpted, very well rounded. These people are just listening to celebrities and
Forming their opinions.
this is what Kim Kardashian thinks. This is exactly what I'm gonna think. Why?
That's scary.
It's scary. It's
Because
concerning.
I guess they're just put, like you said, on that
Could it be a
pedestal.
less or more of a thing with people not having, any, I guess, mind of their own either? What they see on TV, what
Sheeple.
they see on.
This is true.
Exactly.
Sheeple,
Yes.
mindless sheeple.
They just
The
follow.
conformists.
Yeah.
They're all conformists where
I
they're
mean,
going
that
to
could
do
be a
what
thing right there in itself too.
They're
yeah.
followers. They're not leaders. We're all leaders up here, aren't we, guys?
Yes,
Yeah, we're leaders. We're
You're
not
putting
going to
words
listen.
in my mouth.
I consider myself a leader.
Yes, you are a leader,
But
Leslie. Everyone's
I
a
mean,
leader.
I like to hear everybody's opinions. So even those from celebrities. Now, are you going to change your mind and your opinion of said celebrity because of what they're voicing out there
Oh God,
politically?
no! Colbert's as far left as you can get, and I still love him. I've been a big fan of his
It
for
depends
years.
on what they're saying
What the
because
message is?
because there have been Kathy Griffin, for example. I do not like Trump in the least bit, but I do think she took it to the extreme by
Cutting his head off,
No.
severing. Was she the one
She
that
took
severed
it
his
too
head?
far. Yes.
Okay, I was making
took it
sure.
too
I was making
far.
sure.
I mean,
God forbid.
you know it's bad when CNN kicks you off their show for
Right.
New Year's Eve.
Oh.
So yeah,
No,
in
she
situa-
took it too far.
In situations like that, that's to the extreme on the left side. But on the right side,
Yeah.
I can't remember the.
can't remember the
He's a
last-
country singer, Ted. I want to say Ted Nugent?
Don't look at me.
I don't know.
Ted
Sure,
Nugent.
we'll just say
I think
Ted.
Ted Nugent
We'll say
was
Ted.
a classic rock singer, not a country.
It's one of them that's a rock or country where he's like,
Is he older?
he doesn't like Obama. He doesn't like didn't like President Obama,
Yeah.
and was very, very vocal about
it,
it,
yeah.
and said some very negative things, and sometimes would say things like, oh, he's compared him to an animal, or sometimes like that, and with African Americans, that's kind of a
Tough
Touchy.
subject.
Oh, you mean
Unless it's the Black Panther,
I
that's
get it,
all right.
I get it. I
yeah.
get it.
So that's
I would like to be compared to a Black Panther. I love Panthers.
But in the same sense,
Leslie.
there has been like, yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Anyways, guys, I think this was one of our top-notch discussions of the week. We
Yeah.
will be right back here on Southview.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
And welcome back to Southview. My name is William Chandler, to my right.
Terrence Hollis.
And to my left.
Leslie Huffmaster.
And we're going to conclude today's episode with
Another politically charged
I mean, we are
topic.
hitting it 3 for 3 today. So
More politics.
More politics, my favorite thing. So Georgia Republicans, they're kind of ticked off with Delta, and do you know why? Well, Delta apparently cut ties with the NRA, and they're threatening to block a lucrative.
$500 million tax cut is what they're.
That's pretty lucrative.
That's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
That's pretty substantial.
So what does this mean? And good God,
Delta can move their headquarters from Atlanta if they choose to.
Yeah.
And take those 30,000 jobs somewhere else.
I just don't know that it would work out for them.
I don't
mean,
think
they
so
sure
either.
can.
They've been with
think
They
Atlanta
are
how many
so
years?
established there,
I think it
and
could.
Atlanta Airport is who they are because of Delta.
I think they could.
But I mean, yeah, sure they can.
They could.
But
But are
why?
they?
Why go to these extremes? Why would?
Well, since one group of people want to mix politics and business, why can't the other?
I mean, sure, why not? But I mean, I don't know. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't look good for Delta. I mean,
It doesn't.
I don't.
I highly doubt they will. I don't think they should, but I mean,
for them to cut ties with the NRA just because of the Parkland shooting, I think is bad for Delta to do. That's
not
a bad
necessarily.
move.
If you don't want to
I
be
mean,
a
in
social,
your opinion.
if you don't want to be associated with somebody who's doing something negative, and that
I can
it's a PR thing.
It's,
Yes,
from a PR standpoint, I
it
completely
is.
get it.
But
as far as business goes,
you
I
have
hope
to.
they know what they're doing
But you have to be an NRA, I guess, member to have the
to qualify for the discount.
the Delta discount and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
But
it's
the
not,
NRA is not the only organization that they offer these discounts to. So why are they being singled out and targeted? And
because if you're promoting something negative that's harming children, I guess that somebody has to do something somewhere, maybe.
I think that's more of our politicians though.
But
that should be doing
if the
that
politicians
and not,
aren't going to do it, why?
I mean, because the
can't-
NRA is not all bad. The NRA is not a bad organization.
No,
They're
National
needed.
Rifle
but they're
They're
not.
needed.
But they're not all good either, if you think about
okay.
I don't
well,
think anybody is though. I don't think any organization is all good.
Yeah.
it. It's the lesser of evils in a sense. But
Right. I mean, whatever. Delta can do whatever they want to do. Like, I don't care either way. I'm not a member of the NRA.
I think before we were talking about this, we don't care. Yeah.
I don't get discounted tickets anyway. But as far as the politicians now cutting those tax breaks to Delta, I feel like they're maybe overstepping their bounds, though, by doing such.
So, but I mean, who started? Who did what? Who's really at fault and who's really to blame?
Delta has the right to say who they want to give discounts to and who they don't.
Absolutely.
Without having things like tax breaks taken away from them because they choose to do so.
I say the Republicans are
at
fault. The conservatives are at fault for this one because if you think about it, you can really hurt your business and your state itself because think about all the incentives that will make Delta want to have more, airports there, if not somewhere a different part of Georgia.
To expand their business. Well, a $500 million tax break is huge.
Right.
And so that's going to take away a lot of their expansion possibilities, hiring new employees.
Exactly.
Well, I've said
it's going to choke them off, basically.
So for the sense of your kind of pride and what you personally believe in, you're willing to let your citizens be hurt for that.
Well, now here's what I'm going to say.
I don't know how you're meaning that the citizens would be hurt.
I've said this 100 times before, and I'll say it again about it's going to take a long time before anything is implemented. I mean, this whole war in Congress is going to take at least 3 months, and even after that, it's going to take years for Delta to pull out of Atlanta. It's not like they can just...
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Jobs aren't going to be at risk immediately.
Yes.
In the long term, oh, yeah, they are. But... I get the feeling. I think the Republicans, I agree with you on this one. Mm-hmm. They reacted too quickly, and we jumped the gun. I think that when cooler heads are allowed to prevail in the next 3 months, everything's going to be back to the way it is. I'm sure the Republicans are going to do something to make up for the.
Well, you can't have your cake and eat it too, in a sense, because It doesn't work that way. You really can't have it all.
I'm just saying that Delta can do what it wants to do by cutting the ties. It's not going to.
It's a business. It can do whatever the heck it wants.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that the politicians are out of line by
bringing
punishing them by taking away this tax deal. But I also kind of get why Delta, like you were saying, from a PR perspective, because, okay, we've had all these shootings here that's happened before. And it's just like we were talking about the circle.
Yeah.
And nothing has ever changed. So I think now
the same thing can
people are like, I'm taking the matter into my own hands and I'm going to make decisions.
The same thing can be said about private prisons. There's a case where some companies...
Those exist?
Oh my God, do they ever? Yes.
A private prison?
Were you Were you really joking?
I love this show because I do get enlightened on so many things by being on here that I'm not aware of. I did not know that was a thing. Private. I thought they were all county, city, state.
Yes, there are some
federal
of those,
penitentiaries.
but there are more than not private prisons, private penitentiaries.
The company I work for, Walmart.
Are they regulated by the government though?
Not often.
No, not too often.
Really?
Yeah. It's a business. It's an industry.
This is one thing that a lot of conservatives and liberals both agree on.
Yeah.
There should not be private prisons because you can do what you want to those inmates.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't believe this is actually happening.
So let me break it down kind of. Alabama has a huge issue with our prisons. They're overflowing. So,
bad. Metro jail is.
We'll rent you out our private prison. You just give us your prisoners and give us some money, a lot of money actually,
Who wants
and
to
we'll
go with
hold
that business?
I mean, where are you going to put the prisoners? We don't execute in the state. Well, not regularly do we execute in the state. So
when you have too many inmates and you don't have a place to put them,
or funds to care for them, like all the
if somebody
tax money.
says I'm going to offer to take some of these inmates off your hands, just
you're like, okay,
yeah.
Wow. I mean, okay, and then who even wants to think of this?
This has happened
Totally
in New York.
got off topic.
I know in some parts of Georgia, some parts of the South.
A lot of Georgia.
But see, people think, it's only happening in red states. No, it happens in blue states too. And I'm not for that. I'm really not.
No, I'm not
for
for
private
either.
prisons either because people, like you
said, it's a monopoly.
But this kind of goes into how politics plays on businesses like that. Since you don't want to do it my way.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of the same. To me, it's kind of the same thing. If you think
you are 100% right. It is
private
the same thing.
Private citizens don't try and convict criminals. How in the world can they?
Welcome to our messed up society.
I did not realize the complete gravity of how messed up this really is because
America.
You stop.
Well, that's general. That's general. But no, last time
I hope
did
it
my-
works out for Delta.
I hope it works out for Delta. I think both Republicans and Delta jumped the gun on this one.
Yeah,
NRA,
somebody wanted to
National
take
Rifle
action.
Association, guns.
Someone wanted to take action
Too soon.
and take
Too
action
soon.
quick.
Too soon.
They may have made a hasty decision though.
I think they made a hasty decision. I think the Republicans made a hasty
And do you
decision.
actually think that the government, Georgia, is actually going to follow through with that?
I doubt it.
With Delta, I don't see
I'm just
them
trying to
doing that
think
either.
from someone who's going to buy a plane ticket.
Atlanta doesn't want Delta to leave.
No.
Georgia does
They
not
need
want
it.
Delta to leave.
It's like
That's why I think it's not
15%
going
of
to
their
be followed
economy or
through
something.
with. It's not going to be followed through.
It's 20, 25? I don't fact check me. Anyway.
Delta made Atlanta Airport.
Anyways, guys, politics, business, social issues, you got it all here on Southview. Guys, it has been a pleasure. I'm William Chandler.
Terrence Hollis.
And Leslie Huffmaster.
And thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you all next time.